you're happy. The Phoenix Suns ended their season on a hot streak, going 8-0 in the Orlando bubble. Now they may be getting more help to kickstart the next season. According to reports, the Suns have been in trade talks to acquire Chris Paul from the Thunder to pair him with Devin Booker in Phoenix. So, Shannon, how big of a threat would this make Phoenix in the West to your Lakers?
It'll make them a threat to make the playoffs. I mean, something they haven't done in a very long time, but they're not.
10 years.
Yeah, so, yeah. That's the threat that I see, Skip. Will this make them better than the Lakers? No. Will it make them better than the Nuggets? No. The Clippers? No. The Warriors are going to come back. Stephen Clay is coming back. And, you know that organization, Skip, they're always looking to add something that we don't think is going to happen, and they land this big-time free agent. So don't count them out. So it looks like the Rockets, Skip, Russ and James are questioning the direction that they're going in. And so it looks like Russ might be on the move. James Harden might be on the move. But, Skip, I don't see them as a threat. Could they get a top 4 seed? I don't even see them as a top 4 seed because it's not like who is that? The Mavericks. The Mavericks are going to get any worse. If Porzingis come back healthy, they're going to build on what they got. The Blazers, Utah, Memphis or New Orleans. So, Skip, I see them as a playoff team as opposed to being on the outside looking in and having this mad scramble and they finish a half game out because of the play-in situation. But I don't see them as a threat to any of the big 3, big 4 seeds in the Western Conference. The West is loaded, and it's going to get even more loaded if they get Chris Paul. But I don't see them as a threat.
Would LeBron see it as a threat if his... I think he's his best friend, but it's close.
Right.
I don't know that for a fact. But if Chris Paul, a very close friend of LeBron's, signed off on going to Phoenix instead of coming to the Lakers, because there was a report, a couple of weeks back, that he was in the mix to go to L.A.
Obviously, who put that in the mix?
Okay, he lives, obviously, in Los Angeles.
Well, we wasn't in the kitchen. Me and Rob and Jeannie Buff were in the kitchen cooking that up, so I don't know who cooked that story.
Okay. Are you down on that notion?
Yeah, I don't think, no. It's too much. $85 million over 2 years no, we got other issues. I'd rather spread that. Because what we've seen, Skip, even though we didn't land Kawhi, Rob took that money, spread it out, and the depth is what won us a championship.
Rondo is what won you a championship, and he's going to the other LA
You
team.
hoping that's...
I'm not hoping. I just think it's a done deal. We'll see pretty quickly because the window is about to open.
Might lose KCP. KCP said, I ain't cutting no deals.
Okay, fine. So, Chris Paul. What do I think of Chris Paul in the biggest picture? I think he's been a little overrated his whole career. He's not transcendent. And you know why he's not transcendent? Because he's just too short.
He's 6 foot tall.
He's 6 feet tall, so he does the best he can with what he has to work with. Is he a great shooter? No. He's a good shooter. He's a great clutch shooter.
Yes.
He makes a lot of big baskets.
Yes.
But in general, in the flow of the game, is he what you would call a Devin Booker? Well, he's obviously not Devin Booker.
No.
Okay. So what he did best was what he did last year with Oklahoma City. I did not see that coming.
I didn't either.
Chris Paul early on was a solo act force of nature for the New Orleans team back when Monty Williams, now the Phoenix coach, coached him in New Orleans.
Right.
That team scared the holy hell out of my Spurs in the playoffs.
Right.
Just because of the little 6 foot tall guy who was just a pit bull. He was hard to deal with just because of his competitive fire. But as he began to age and he's been injured, hamstrings right and left, he's now 35 years of age. But last year, he goes to Oklahoma City, and I thought he might just kind of mail it in like he got stuck there after he got shipped there. He did not mail it in. He led that group to 44-28, which tied for the 4th best record in the West with Houston and the Utah Jazz. That's pretty great. And that team was Shea Gilgeous and Steven Adams and Dort and Gallinari and who's coming off the bench? Noel, Basley, and Schroeder coming off the bench. Not bad, but still, Chris Paul was the driving force of that team, right?
But you said something. You said the 5-month break helped LeBron James more than anybody. Actually, it helped Chris Paul, given his history of how he wears down every single year. I think the 5-month layoff helped him more than anybody because given his history, Skip, what we've seen, normally come playoff time, it's a hamstring, it's a knee, it was something. So he got a 5-month break and was able to finish up the season strong.
Okay. What am I seeing in Phoenix? It's what I saw catch fire in the bubble over those last 8 games. That was scary good.
Yeah.
They were playing so hard and so hot for Monty Williams. And Devin Booker is an all-star already, and he's only going to get much better. To me, if he had Chris Paul, that would take him up a level. Because one thing about Chris, he's not selfish. He averaged 18, 5 rebounds, 7 assists last year, but he distributes. He is what you would call a pure point guard, right?
Yeah.
So would he help Devin Booker, who, by the way, had averaged 7 assists himself? Yes. They would be a lethal backcourt combo.
But Skip, it's not like Rubio was trash. Rubio was fourth in the NBA assists.
I got it, but you know what? Chris Paul's just a notch above.
He's a step better than Rubio.
Okay, because you'd have to probably trade Rubio and a guy you love, Oubre.
Yes.
Okay, you'd have to trade both of them, both for salary and for players, back to Oklahoma City.
And some draft picks.
Okay.
OKC gonna have like 40 first-round draft picks in the 20s.
And watch him. He'll nail them all. That's just what he does. But listen, DeAndre Ayton is going to be an all-star.
Yeah.
So if you have 2 all-stars and a perennial all-star in Chris Paul, I think they're going to be better than you're giving them credit for. I'm not saying they're better than the Lakers, but
top 3 seed?
Top 4. Yes, top 4. They're going to cause problems in the West, which is already hard enough as it is. But when I look down the rest of the roster, that Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson and Dario Saric, if they keep him, which I think they would, and they acquired Cameron Payne, and I've always loved Javon Carter back to West Virginia because he defends and just shoots the lights out
But
from
Skip,
3.
at that salary, you're going to have to give up a lot of players, not just Oubre and Rubio. You got to think about Chris Paul's salary. It's 41 this year. It's 44.5 next year.
Okay, but sometimes this boggles my mind. The thought is they have $20 million in cap room that if they can trade the requisite salaries back, and I know it's a lot of money.
Isn't Oubre free though? Oubre's a free agent, isn't he?
I don't know, not sure.
Okay, but
from what I read this morning, and again this is way over my head, that Oubre and Rubio would work.
Yes.
In exchange, but where you could even preserve your cap room, where you could actually go get another free agent or 2. To help improve or restock your depth.
By Rubio, by Oubre.
Well,
because if it makes sense in the cap, why wouldn't you do it?
Okay, well, you just would. As much as you, I love Oubre.
I do too.
You know, I love how hard he plays.
I thought he played unbelievable before he got hurt.
Okay, I love Monty Williams. He's obviously, he was a very young coach, and now he's a very mature coach. This team would be a factor with Chris Paul because he's just the kind of player, this would be the best fit for him where look what happened. He goes to the Clippers, and he and Blake just clash. And Chris is hard to deal with. Once he gets his pride rubbed raw, you better be careful because it's going to be big trouble. And he's not going to be quiet about it. So that didn't work. And then he goes to Houston, and slowly but surely, he and James went, boom, they just butted heads.
I think the thing is, Skip, is that he's going to places where guys are already established, and they say it's their team, and Chris says, nah, I came in, it's my team.
Okay, I got it.
I hope it's not a situation where he goes to Phoenix. Book is already established.
I don't think it would be.
I hope not, Skip.
Okay, well, you could be right, but I don't think it would be because he's 35 years of age. What does Chris Paul need the most? He needs a ring.
I think he needs a title.
Okay, would it be? I'll be very curious to see because the way the NBA works, these superstars, they sign off on these deals.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not that they have veto, but they just sign off. You
don't want to upset them.
No, if Paul George wants out, Sam Presti says, "Oh, okay, I'll just do it. Whatever you want, I'll figure it out." And I'll stockpile more draft picks, like you said. Okay, so if he signs off for going to Phoenix, then he's going to think in the next couple of years they got a shot to win a ring, right? If he really wants the ultimate shot, the sure shot to win a ring, then he would hope the Lakers would figure out a way to fit him under their cap.
Well, see, the thing was, if Jeannie Buss had Bombers money, $74 billion, where the cap is no problem, no con. So if I'm $100
Paying
million,
luxury tax,
right? If I'm $100 million in luxury tax, what's $100 million if I'm worth $74 billion? But unfortunately, the Buss family is not like that. So the Clippers were more likely to go into luxury tax hell as opposed to the Lakers. The Lakers must be smart about this, and we will. We got something up our sleeve. We got something brewing. You just sit over there.
Well, how do you know? Are you saying you're plugged in?
PayPal.
Yeah.
We got something. We got something.
You and Jeannie been
cooking. We've been in the kitchen cooking.
Yep. You've been in communication.
I've been in the kitchen. There you go. See,
Just trying to figure this out.
all I'm saying is this. KCP, we're probably going to lose KCP because he's played himself into a big payday, and rightfully so. I got a ring. I've made some money. I was a first-round draft pick, but now I get an opportunity to cash in because I show I can be a 3-and-D, and I can knock down big shots. He knocked down some big shots in the playoffs.
I agree.
So he's in line for a big payday, and rightfully so. There's a chance that, Kuzma wants this big payday, but we're not going to be able to do that. We're not going to be able to do that. But what we will be willing to do is give you a big payday and trade you and get something back, big something back every time.
Interesting. So you're saying LeBron would quietly vote no to helping his friend CP3 win one ring?
I want my friend to win a ring, but I don't know if I want my friend to win a ring more than me.
Well, the problem there is the starting point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers, I think, is your guy.
Yeah, it is.
LeBron James.
Yeah,
so if Chris Paul wants to be the starting point guard, I don't know exactly how that works.
And that's what helps the Clippers with Rondo. The Clippers can offer him something we can't. That's a starting job. The money's going to be the same.
Probably.
But the title will be different. It's kind of like two jobs. Okay, the job go have the same pay, but one has a better title.
I don't even think it's title. One has